All of that. That should be everything, I believe. Okay, yeah. We should be good and going everything, I think. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Alrighty. And while that's going, and that's going, and that's going. Wait 1 sec. Gotta make sure everything's set up like it needs to be so everything's good. There we go. Awesome. Alright, so everything is good. Everyone can hear me? Everything's good? Well, I guess if I want to actually find out, I probably need to go and pull up my own stream, shouldn't I? If I do that, I can find out if I'm good or not. That's the best way to find out. I always have the issue with audio. I always mess that up. I don't want to mess that up. I want my audio to be good, so y'all can hear my voice. Because if my audio is not good, how can y'all hear me? That's bad. So we gotta make sure everything's good. I think everything's good. Can I hear myself? Yeah, I can hear myself. Alright, so we're good. Cool. Audio's working. That's good. Awesome. In that case, we are going in. So today, I know it's been a long time since I streamed for a while. Turns out, my actual job, I have a lot of time off. A whole lot of time off, which is good, because that gives me more time for content creation. So, I get to work more on my YouTube videos, more on my models, my hobbies, interests, and include streaming. So that's what we're going to do today. Today we're going to be working with the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy, which was some of the original videos on my account that I started with my YouTube. But I figured it'd be more fun to actually do a let's play of that, interact with the audience, get to enjoy that. So if you're all here right now, I'm enjoying having you guys over. We had some fun with that. I'm trying to get everything set up. It's a little weird and awkward at the moment, but yeah, it'll be fine. I believe it'll be fine. Go ahead and switch that over. Yeah, so that's all good. Yeah, that should be good. Hit okay on that. Awesome. Alrighty, I think everything is working like it needs to, and that's good. So I haven't played any of this for the YouTube channel, and my plan is that I'll stream the Apollo Justice, and if it's really good, I might go back and stream the Phoenix Wright. For those who don't know, Apollo Justice was the game after the Phoenix Wright trilogy, which I think is after that, and then you get the Edgeworth. Then there's Chronicles. There's a lot of them. But growing up as a kid, I used to play these a lot. Did I get to choose the episodes? Oh, it lets me choose. But I'm not doing that. Gotta start off with the very first one. Let's start a new game. Because I live for the drama. These games are always so much fun with the drama they have. Plus, giving the characters like any other type of different voices. Oh, it makes it so much fun. I played these on the DS on a school bus when I was a wee little boy. So long ago. But now I get to do voices for them and content creation. Younger me would never even believe of doing this stuff. Showdown time. You lose. Ugh. Eek. Blood splatters. I don't remember the canvas on the original game. I like it. I remember everything being pixels. Y'all remember the Newgrounds animations? Oh, I love those so much. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should have come to that. Ooh. Oh, always starts off with someone getting arrested. April 20th, 9:37 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Panicked, palm sweaty. I can admit it. I'm nervous. Good morning. Good morning, sir. You look tense. Justice wound up tight? Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise, is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial, and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, huh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my chores of steel voice workout. I'm fine. That explains it. I did detect a certain raspy quality to your screech. I overdid it again. It's weird seeing them all like painted as PNGs. I'm just so used to the sprites. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I died within the night of the murder. I can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. Who is our client? It's the hoodie guy, right? My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And the day's my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him, no way. Suave looking guy. Whoa. Good, morning? Not saying a word. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial, nervous, meeting him, cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something? Help. So, you're... Fine, I'm fine. Mr. Fine, is it? Oh, I did remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin's a top-notch defense attorney. And he's your friend. So why? You'll see. Huh? You can do it. Be confident. Oh my. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean, It's time. Shall we? Yes, sir. He looks so suave in his outfit. He looks such a dweeb when he's like in a suit. Okay, I need to focus. First trial. Here comes justice. April 20th, 10 a.m., District Court. Courtroom number 2. I forgot how they did his hair. Oh, it's so terrible. Like, no justice at all. The court is now in session. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Mine's going blank. Don't panic. Too late. Your name was Mr. Justice? And this is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Gavin? Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always cede to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course, he wants justice. But to entrust his case to this greenhorn, why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you are the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine. But does he have cords of steel? Does he? Does he wake up at 5 to practice his voice? I don't think he does, but we do, don't we? Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. Suave. I want that beanie. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Mr. Wright? How could this have happened? I won't speak of it further, then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne. I think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I see you leave in chains. You can try. Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I say. Ahem. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him, wham, on the head, smack, killed him cold. The customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant? You say he was... the pianist for the club, it seems. Phoenix Wright? A pianist? This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice. The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Deadly bottle is added to the record. Fine, we got this. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. Court record. Right. I've heard of that. You can use E to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right. Just use E. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. So, the victim was a customer at this restaurant? But just who was this, Shady Smith fellow? We believed he was a traveler, Your Honor. A traveler? According to his passport, he'd been out of the country for a number of years. We had only returned to his country recently, though his place of residence is unclear. And he had some sort of connection with the defendant. That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime. If they had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slaughtered the defendant's piano playing? That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least, not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. I know I give him a weird voice. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime. Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself. Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to becoming the basest sort of criminal. Is it true the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim? Yet it was only that, a game. In the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes. A test of wits, silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs weathered in blue flame, know its final outcome. Come again? The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present. and impress women. You're not impressing anyone with that hairdo. That will be our first order of business here, then. To find out more about this fatal game of cards. Looks so suave. Very well. Defendant, you will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime. My pleasure. This is it. First trial. Here goes nothing. The competition. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interesting customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition is there the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, the game. And our customers are happy. A pianist who can't play piano. Better than a defense attorney who can't defend. Oh, just rub it in. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. Right, Your Honor. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it. You alright? You're sweating bullets. Bullets? Where? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained. Raspy, too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times, though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? What to do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher course in cross-examination? No, because we don't need a law license. I'm good. No need for help here, sir. I've got this one covered. I think you better do more than think. You know it, or you don't. I'm fine. The cords of steel are ready for battle. My weapon. Press and present. Find any inconsistencies, lies in the testimony, reveal them to the court. That's cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. Inconsistencies, lies. Phoenix Wright. As if. Phoenix Wright would never lie. It's up to me to prove it. The defense may begin the cross-examination. I like doing voices. Gives the characters more things. I know a lot of people who do the Let's Plays usually sometimes don't do the voices for these type of stories, but I like doing them. Of course, I don't get to do no editing for them like I did on my YouTube videos, but hey, that's what the fun thing about doing live streams is. Pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. I'm going to press you on this. I want to know more about your playing skills. You can hardly play? Oh, I play sometimes, when customers demand it. So I play them one song. That's usually all they want. Was that supposed to be a boast just now? The title of pianist is a mask. A respectable face I wear for the world at large. Then why are you really at the Borscht Bowl Club? My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play in the competition in... The room where we play and the competition in there, all the club's main attractions. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction? It's quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. Black market? All in the past. Things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. A smoky room, gambling hoods, you know? Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, Goon keeps watch through a small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout. But little else. The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they'd come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. The rules are simple. Play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. 2 decks of cards? Simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip them in. There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, they are lying scattered on the floor. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor. Each one of them forming a complete deck. The crime scene painted in blue, about a side sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue. As I recall, in poker, you make 5 card hands. I can see how it'd be easy to cheat. Yeah, game of hands. Was that a clue? I thought it was like a clue. That's all it is. A game. And customers are happy. If they weren't happy, they wouldn't have been murdered. So, you claim you weren't gambling? That's right. Simple game. You didn't bet any money, not even a little. The only thing at stake in our game was pride itself. Well put, Mr. Wright. I've got a mind to play a hand of poker myself. The stakes, your fate. Can we get back to the trial now? I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony. Isn't it a little too early to be jumping to conclusions? This is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. If you need more information, don't forget to press. Right, got it. I'm fine. Time to listen to it again. Second question. Pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. Oh, cool. So let me know what those things are. They didn't used to have those in the original game. So, I mean, that's very handy. My real job is to take on interest customers over by the poker table. Remember to play any competition now to close main attractions. The rules are simple. Play game poker using 2 decks of cards. Let's see, I got my attorney's bench. Autopsy report, time of death was around 2 a.m. April 17th. Death cause, single blow to forehead. Photo, sub-basement, Porsche Ball Club. Grape juice bottle used by the murder weapon bears the defendant Mr. Wright's prints. Sub-basement. Okay. Let's see. The room where we play in the competition and there to close main attractions. Real jobs to take on interesting customers over at the poker table. Yeah, I can hardly play at all. Take on interesting customers over at the poker table. The room where we play in the competition in there are to close main attractions. Rules are simple. Play game poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is. A game and our customers are happy. Rules are simple. Play a game poker using 2 decks of cards. 2 decks of cards. Right, but if there are 2 decks of cards, why are there chips? It's been so long since I've done this that I am rusty. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. Our real job is to take interested customers over at the poker table. I pressed him on all these. Real job is to take on interest customers over at the poker table. Real room where we play in the competition there are the club's main attractions. We play game poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game, and our customers are happy. play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. Right, but... I want to present this. Your Honor, what are you thinking about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I follow. It clearly contradicts the, I thought. You don't sound very sure, Mr. Justice. Objection overruled. I don't think that one we need. Oh, come on. Rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. 2 decks. Civil measure, prevent cheating. Alternate the 2 decks. No one can slip in cards. See, now it's not noticed. Addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor. Precisely, cards on the table, cards on the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. Crime scene painted blue by a sweep of cards. Poetic, really. Incidentally, we use 2 types of cards at the club. One red, one blue. I recall, poker make 5-card hands, so you can see how it would be easy to cheat. Yep, game of hands. That's all it is, a game, and our customers are happy. Can't imagine a restaurant line of testimony. See, I pressed all of these. I need to find stuff. So you claim you weren't gambling. Right, simply a game. Didn't bet any money, not even a little. All things taken in the game was pride. Your fate. Yeah, it's not helping me any. I need to go back to this. Right. I don't see his hand. Single blow to the forehead. I am a terrible attorney. I can hardly play at all. Your job is taking your customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. Is it now? Quite a history, actually. The barge pole used to be a gathering spot for black deals in the day. Black market, all in the past. Things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room, a smoky room, gambling hoods, you know, just looking at the picture makes you feel bad. Boss got it around the table, cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through the small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it could be good for keeping a lookout, but little else. Room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they came to play poker in the room, steeped in history. Despite the dark past, all good, clean fun. Rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. The room where we play... I don't know. I'm probably going to get this guy arrested. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get him arrested. It's a very high chance. Alright, we're going to go into... So there is a game and our customers are happy. Sub-basement at the Borscht Blow. Chair. Chair. Bottle. The dead man. Some vases. A window. 2... Wait. Who else was playing with him, though? Who was dealing the cards? Rules are simple. Let's see. The room where we play in the competition narrative class man attractions work. My real job is to take on interest customers over at the poker table. I want to press you on that. Pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I am a professional after all. Do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine. Yeah, your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston. Oh, what? I played poker for 7 years in that little room. And I've never lost. Once. What? You see why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. Wait, you never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once. Is that even possible? This competition you're talking about. Oh, okay, that's what I did. I just forgot to press on that one. I thought I pressed on everything. Apparently I didn't. I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right. It's a simple game, after all. Are you sure? Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment that crime occurred. Yet, you claim no connection to the crime. Now, that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point's against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. Oh, I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right? There's something I'd like to make clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand. And I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not? Very well. The defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press. And I've got myself a whole new testimony. I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched a murder weapon. Hold it. If that's the case... So let's game. Please silence regarding the murder, but I never touched a murder weapon. That's interesting because I have evidence grape juice bottle used by the murder weapon bears your fingerprints. It's empty. The bottle is completely empty. Grape juice. How long has it been since I drank it? Apparently it's Mr. Wright's favorite. I wonder how well it goes with borscht. It's cool. It's cool. Bears his fingerprints, though. So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon? This grape juice bottle? Correct? So I said. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. What's this, Mr. Payne? I examined the bottle in question, you see. And it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Burn. Objection! No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine. Excessive yelling can damage the judge's ears. And our case. But what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove... Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. Huh? But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down. Upside down? What does that mean? It means he was holding the bottle inverted, and there can only be one reason for that. Smack. Yes. To brain someone with the bottle. Well, PNGs were actually pretty good with this one. They weren't nearly as good in the Phoenix Wright trilogy. Not nearly as smooth. Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse. Oh? I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see. Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case. I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason. Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Reported? Oh, well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright. But still, that... Really? Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene. Well, let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we? I know, I'm giving him a really strong southern accent. The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above the ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant. I see. And this is the phone that made the call? Cell phones added to the court record. The defendant could just have fled the scene of the crime, if he so chose. Yet, he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he's being uncooperative? Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. But toyed? I assured you no one is more serious about... What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment the crime occurred? How can you possibly know this? That's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. You're as good as they say you are. So someone else was in the room the night of the crime. That must mean the witness the crime. Everything up till now has been a warm-up, Justice. You ready? Very well. Prosecution may call his first witness to the stand. I love this. The witness will state her name and profession. Oh, it had to be a woman. Oh, I gotta go do a high-pitched voice. Can I do that, chat? Can I do that? Can I do a girly voice? Or should I make her voice, like, super deep? I'll try doing a high pitch. I think I can do this. The game can't be that long, right? It can't be that long. I'll be fine. Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness? I surmise that she's taken frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns. So I use a little hair gel for relax, people. Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off. Are you sure? I swear it on my gavel. Please come out. Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor? Well, If you're sure it's okay. I gotta say, the drawings are a lot better. Oh, wait a minute. Would the prosecution care to explain the witnesses' paraphernalia? Yes. She's a professional, Your Honor. These are merely the tools of her trade. And that would be... My name is Olga Orly. I'm employed as a waitress in the Borscht Bowl Club restaurant. Then why the camera? Of course, it's my pride to serve borscht. That's the name in the restaurant. But I also perform, how it's said, other service. I take it one of those other services is taking customers of the pictures? Like, for example, this one. Ooh. New pictures. New evidence. Yes. That's the defendant. Indeed. On the night of the murder. Man in a white hat is the one who gone kaput. Indeed. That is the victim. What is she holding in that container, though? That's the real question. Order. Order! This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps. It's the same way I drop cold bowls of borscht on the laps of customers. Casually. Then the court will casually accept this new evidence. All of this photo added to the court record. Now I got a reason to grab the bottle from the upside down, because if it's in the crate beside me, I have to come down and pick it up, so it'll become like this. Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? I was in room, the hideout, we call it. Excuse me? The hideout? It's room where famous gangster Baghdad was arrested. It's room where murder took place. What? Your look of utter surprise, it is lovely. I will post by courtroom door letter for you. Photos will be numbered, and you will write which ones you want copy of. So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shadi Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga Ulrich, our witness. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Very well. Witness, you will testify to the court about the night's events. Now we're going. Starting off slow, but now we're going. We're going there. Fateful night. That night, customers asked me to deal cards of the game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on the locket at his neck. Then, last hand's done. But something terrible has happened. The man flew at the victim, strangled him to death. Well, there's our problem with our testimony. Incidentally, who won the game? Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith. Sorry, screwed up that voice. Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith. That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose. Justice, maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection? But he hadn't lost in 7 years. Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as a prosecutor either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. Ooh, we got evidence, do we? These are the poker chips as they lay at the very moment of the crime. The hand and chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith. Chips, you say? Yes. Imagine that poker's war. Your hands are your army, and the chips are the spoils. Well, I know that. After all, in my youth I was known as the poker head of courtroom number 3. Can't take the guy serious. I think he means poker face. Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. The chip's photo has been added to the court record. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Cross-examination time. Alright, let's see what we got. The night the customer asked me to deal cards for the game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on. The victim, he plays whole time with hands on locket at his neck. Then, last hand's done, but something terrible has happened. The man flew at the victim and strangled him to death. Okay. Now, the problem with this was 2 damage can cause the death with a single blow to the forehead. Cause of death was blunt force trauma, not choking. So that's the contradiction of that. Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd. Normal customers only choke on borscht. No, I mean this report shows the victim died of a blow to the head. Miss Ulrey, really now? Did you witness the crime? Eek! Well, she caught that pretty well. Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything. Yet it's as if fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Jesus Christ, they did hit him hard. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation. Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? This head certainly was hit. Dun dun dun. Okay, but where's the locket on his neck now? But I've seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at the victim, his neck. Oh, really, Miss O'Reilly? I think I caught you in your own lie this time. Justice, I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me. Very well. It seems we should continue the cross-examination. There's such a thing as thinking too much. This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking a little too much, too. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for the game. It was cold. Both players played with hands on. The victim plays whole time with his hands on a locket on his neck. Yes. 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 Where's the locket? You know there was a more curious part in her testimony? Just like Mr. Gavin said. But, what does it mean? Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about? Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on a locket at his neck. I believe she said. I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar. No, but look at this photograph. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But what does it mean? If we're to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death? Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off of him. No? Taken it off? Wait. You don't mean... The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? Defendant, what do you have to say to this? So cocky and suave. This is not like him at all in the first 3 games. Say. Yes? I just noticed this, but... You have something hanging around your neck, don't you? Oh. You mean this? Yeah, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. Come again? Mr. Wright, you have a daughter? We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. So Mr. Wright has a locket too? I do not buy that this is just a coincidence. Well now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game. Further testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost. Badly. Miss O'Reilly, you will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant. Oh, my voice is... Serious competition. The game began with 3,500 points and chips for each man. Oh, right, gotta do their voice. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who was winning, was the victim. For the last hand, defendant played of all chips on the table and lost. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs a bottle from table and... Indeed. Looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game. As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow. How many times have I heard those words? I've done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor, and now I regret it. A common tale, but true. He thinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. Or he has lost, and it's just a lie that he hasn't lost in 7 years. Serious competition. The game began with 3,500 points of chips in for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who was winning was the victim. For last hand, defendant played of all chips on the table and lost. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs a bottle from the table and... Alright, how about we finish that? And what happened next? Even to think of it now, I shake and tremble, I did not believe such a thing could happen. What such thing? Please, you must believe. I had no idea. How could such a thing occur? What such thing? The defendant had been hitting the victim. I saw it all happen right before me. I saw a bottle coming down on the victim's head. Decisive, isn't it, Your Honor? My witness saw the very moment of the crime. Remember, your first goal is to gather information. Yes, sir. Without contradiction, here comes justice. Okay, so we're going to press for information. Are those the usual starting points? Are there any special rules used? No, not special. Usual game, usual rules. If each man began with 3,500 points, then the total would be... exactly 7,000 points. Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division. House chips come in two sizes. Big and small. Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used? Of course. Something fishy with those chips. Should I press harder? Yes. Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips. Explain? What is there to explain? I forgot how high-pitched he made his voice. Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips. Not a chip off the old block, not a motorcycle cop or... Thanks. Now that I pressed her, I better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars, rubles even? Neat. As I've been saying before, a game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalists to understand. Two types of chip. 100-point chips, 1,000-point chips. It's not money, Justice. Sir, don't you find her comment interesting? In more ways than one. I haven't added to her testimony myself. Well, Does the event want the witness to add her testimony? Yes. Because now I can bust her. Yes. This deserves further scrutiny. Add it to the testimony. Wish I knew where I was going with this. I do. I know what I'm doing with this. Very well, witness. What would you be so kind? Die, Your Honor. Each other runs for 7. Cool, cool. See, the problem with this, though, is if we go off that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That means there are over 10,000. Someone had more chips than they needed. Present our evidence. The chips on the table. You sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure. It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the pictures enough to tell you who won. If you're not in kindergarten. Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honor. In this photo, I see small chips and large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course. Duh. Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up. The totals? Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips, and the combined total value of those chips was 7,000. Yes, if my calculations are correct. 3 plus 1, carry the 5. They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. If the big chips are worth 1,000 points, and the small are worth 100, and you add them up, how much is it? Do it yourself. You're not in kindergarten, are you? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony. Here's that music. It's that music I love. It's the greatest music ever. But why? How could this be? Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right. There's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. The starting points were wrong. The chip count was wrong. Both were right. We'll go both. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can only be one answer. Well, what is it? The value of the chips was the other way around. What? Want to know what I think? The small chips are worth 1,000, not the big ones. Madness, utter madness. Show me the photograph of the chips again. There are 6 small chips, 10 large chips. What? That does make 7,000 points when you add them up. Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it. But wait! The value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing. Indeed, the victim did have the larger number of chips still. Exactly. If the small chips are 1,000 points, and the large chips are 100, let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table. The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points, and the defendant, 4,100. Well now, Seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all. That's impossible. My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning. Yeah. Ah, I love this part. All the drama. Now, Miss O'Reilly, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime, weren't you? Eek. Catching all the dishes. Love it. Order. Order. It appears our defendant has lost his motive, and Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. Ugh. We must now ask ourselves whether we can trust the witness's testimony at... Excuse me? What is it, Miss O'Reilly? I didn't want to be saying this, but... Actually, you see, See what, Miss O'Reilly? What do we see? In the last hand, there was a cheat. A cheat? You don't mean a trick? Wait. Or do you mean a scam? They're the same thing. Yes, there was a cheat in the last hand. That's why the game ends with chips as the way they are. Great. Just great. First we have lying. Now cheating. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn. Pretty interesting. Witness, you will now please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand. Oh, we're there. We're getting there. We're so close. The final hand. The last hand, both men had full house. There's 4 of each card in the deck, from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat's more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument. The finished trick was exposed. He took bottle in his hand. Poor Mr. Smith. Miss O'Reilly, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? Chicken gibbers. I thought I smelled the cover up here. Well, folks, time to throw back the covers. A full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make in my experience. That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics. Mr. Gavin? What's a full house? Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker. I can't say this bodes well for your case. Or career. What is this, some kind of secret court poker ring? Justice? You know the terms. 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes? Yeah, no problem. 2 cards with the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes 3 of a kind. Good. Now picture a hand with 1 pair, and 1 with 3 of a kind. That's a full house. Doesn't sound very easy to make, does it? You can see each player's hand in this photo. Wow, they both have full houses. They each have 2 aces, ace of diamonds, ace of hearts, ace of spades, ace of clubs, king of hearts, king of diamonds, king of spades. We forget there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat. The defense may cross-examine the witness. If he did cheat in the last hand, there still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat? Cross-examination time. The final hand. The last hand, both men had a full house. There's 4 each card in the deck, from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat's more obvious. The next moment, game becomes an argument. The finished trick was exposed. took the bottle in his hand. Poor Mr. Smith. Okay, hang on. Smith's autopsy report. Okay, so his name is Smith. Club basement, Borset brawl. Let me look closer at this. There are 4 of a kind. Ace, 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 and ace. 1 of each suite. That's correct. And there's 7 of clubs, 7 of diamonds, 7 of hearts. Two aces. Wait, hang on. Well, that looks like there's 2 hearts. It could just be bad drawings. Alright, I need to press for information. That's what I need to do. Need to press, don't we, chat? How was it clear? Well, the defendant, he played a 5th ace. A 5th ace? I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. 1, 2, 3. And Mr. Wright's, 2. Obviously, cheating was afoot, or perhaps I should say, a hand. Your Honor, perhaps this can be added to the testimony without Mr. Payne's joke. Very well. The witness will add this detail to her testimony, please. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2, so 5 in total. Really? Because I see 3 kings and 2 aces. That doesn't math. It appears the witness is mistaken. Mistaken? But my name... Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's the photo of the chips, is it not? Justice, perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger. Point out your point. Yes, please point out the contradiction in the photo. What particular point contradicts the witness's testimony? Why, it's here, of course. It's where? Where isn't that you're pointing? Where? Good question. You've already heard today on the dangers of bluffing. Sorry, Your Honor. I better rethink this. I think you best point out your point again. What particular point contradicts the witness's testimony? Point to the revealing spot. But it's the hand. They said that they had aces and they had the aces. I think it's this. Miss O'Reilly, in your testimony, you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces, but as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only had 2. Oh, well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question. Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's this 5th ace? I see cheating all right, and it's going right here in this courtroom. Love the drama. 2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 total. Hardly proof of cheating. Oh, wait, please. It's true. I've seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating. I swear to you.
That's odd. She must be lying. She must sound so sincere. I've seen her all day. You're right to trust your instincts. Mr. Gavin? Who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards? The cards? Mr. Payne? Yes? The players' hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Very well. Prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's? If these cards don't prove cheating was going on, nothing will. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? I want to look at the victim's. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards. Very well. Mr. Payne, if you would. Very well. Received evidence of the victim's hand. Well, time's a wasting. Get to it, Justice. Yes, sir. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using the to turn around, being in to zoom in and zoom out. It should give you a better perspective on a case. Alright, let's do this. What? Your Honor, look at this. One of the victim's cards. The back's a different color. Huh. That's impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand. What was that, Miss O'Reilly? I merely said that I have Your Honor. Mr. Gavin, yes? Tell me, what's the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One really needs a friend. A comrade, shall we say. The dealer. Oh, wait. So you mean... this witness, Miss O'Reilly. She's the cheater. A professional, I'd wager. Yeah. Order. Order. Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. Of her mistake. Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard. That's impossible. I put that card in Wright's hand. Ergo, Miss Olga O'Reilly conspired to cheat. Not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shidey Smith. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. What? Wait, you don't mean... the defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, are you? Time for justice. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident. And if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, of murder. Eek! It's so terrible. Oh, this is the one where they do their blowout, isn't it? Oh, I guess not. Mr. Payne, where's your witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly? It appears she's lost consciousness, Your Honor. Mr. Justice? Your Honor, it seems you presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith. And that means this court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. What? I did it. I held out. I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries. Mr. Wright, you can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spewing now? Think. One of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means? What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right now when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous. Mr. Payne, you of all people should know. Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before. The 2 decks at the club had different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored backs? If we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. We used different colors, but they still got mixed. We used a red deck for the last game. I see. But that's odd. For some reason, I had this impression that you were using the blue cards. Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards. Whatever. In the end, 1 card of the wrong color got mixed into the mix, which means there was cheating. Yeah, the card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating, yet this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo? Yes? Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think. In the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are 3 broad possibilities here. Could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after. Well, yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped. It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne. Or it might not be. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? When was the card swapped into the deck? The best time to do it would be after. Perhaps it happened after the murder? What's that? Ridiculous. What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly. Yeah, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible. Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, like your hair, but very little impossible. Even when the backs of the cards are different colors. If you pull that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown. After the murder. Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that? Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us. There's another. Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for the blue? Who? The game and murderer is done. The victim's dead. Only 2 remain in the room, alive that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga O'Reilly. Alright. So who was it that swapped the red card for the blue? Oh, that's easy. It'll be Olga, because Phoenix had to leave to go upstairs. So while he was doing that, Olga was left alone in the room with the body. It must have been Olga O'Reilly who swapped the cards. She was trying to cover up evidence of the cheating. That does make some sense. Sorry. But there's a problem with that explanation. The swap card was from the wrong deck. Yeah, a blue card was struck into a red hand. Mixing a card from the wrong deck when the backs were different colors. Remember what you're talking about. Olga O'Reilly, she was the dealer. Do you really think she would make such a novice mistake? Actually, I have trouble imagining even the judge making that mistake. Give it a little more thought, Apollo. Right. Alright, so who was it that swapped the red card for the blue? Or if it wasn't Olga, and Phoenix left, someone else possibly? There's a window they could look in through. The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga O'Reilly either. What are you suggesting? That's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As a defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss O'Reilly at this point. Yeah, I know. But she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I can't believe she would just make the same mistake of swapping the wrong color card. And if the card was swapped during the game, it would be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking about how much fun all this is. Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant, and it wasn't Miss O'Reilly, then who was it? Yeah, well, that's the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction. A new direction? We'll find that indeed. After the murderer. Someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand. And that someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong color card. Because the one who did the swap didn't know two color cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Right. The person replaced the fifth ace with the ace of a king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. But there's one problem. According to your case record, the person doesn't exist. True. Not until now, but you had to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. There was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime. What? Oh, the drama. The action. It's everywhere. You want to say hi, kitty? Go say hi. Say hi. Say hi, kitty. Say hi. Say hi to everyone. Say hi. I'm the kitty. Do you want to go do Kristoff's voice? You want to go, I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. Yeah, it was you. Yeah, it's you. You should. Just my cat. This is my cat. She's a cute kitty. Alright. Back down you go. Don't mess with the mic. Mics are expensive. I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. This trial has proceeded on one central assumption. Namely, that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room. I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption. The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court. I suppose that is a problem, yeah. Court's adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess. Certainly, Your Honor. Very well. The trial will resume in 20 minutes. Ooh. 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 April 20th, 11:52 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. To suddenly claim there was another person in the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is it the truth? Well, no. I'd think you would know the answer to that. Being mysterious, are we? Well, sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I've only asked that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I can't guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Kristoff. Justice? Yes, sir. The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? Ah, you're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket? Here, you can take a look at it. There's a picture of my daughter in there. Shh. Look at how cute she is. She's adorable. She's gonna get in so much trouble later. I remember. I think she gets blamed for murder just as bad as Mia does in the original. I'm just surprised you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago? What I did? It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. I never, honest, but it is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. You want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Huh? You see, poker's all about reading your opponent. And that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like a trial law? Figure out what your opponent's thinking, and you win. Well, yeah, but there's harder than it sounds. I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information. You're kidding. That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? No. Oh, come on, who would notice that? Words, habits, twitches. It's all information for reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me. I'll pass that secret on to you. But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What is he talking about? But you will. Soon. Ah, almost forgot. One more thing about this case. You should know. I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. What? I knew it. My reasons, of course. All will be revealed. And Apollo, I'll need you to be there. Defending me. I'll need your power. My power? I had no idea my cords of steel were that special. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best. Oh, I forgot how long these can go, but oh, they were so good. Oh, we got done with the first part? We still got more time. Yeah, we're going to save our progress. We're going to keep on going. We're going to finish this one. I don't think I go for more data. I don't think so anyway. Pretty sure this one keeps on going. Yes. I don't think I go back in. I think I keep on doing this. This is still courtroom stuff. We're still doing courtroom stuff. April 20th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. You're still here. Did you get a little webcam for you too? Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, recovered? Yes, Your Honor. Well, she regained consciousness. Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again. That's the thing, you see. She's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss O'Reilly take the stand. Very well. The witness will take the stand. Alright, let's break some stuff. I didn't mean to break my hands. Haha.
All right, we're fine. We're fine. Cat, say hi. You're still here. Say hi to everyone. Say hi, hi, hi. Oh, say hi, 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 hi. Say hi, chat. Hi, chat. Yeah, we all good. Whoa, 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 whoa. Careful now. There you go. All right.
Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession?
Oh, she's shaking.
Or perhaps you would rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. Not. Name's Olga O'Reilly. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quickfingers O'Reilly.
Oh. Oh, really?
Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like O'Reilly. There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied.
Complete change. 180.
Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see?
Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences.
Fine. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Ball Club several days prior to the night of the game. As a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim? Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search for Wright. He would then pull out the planted card, and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards? Exposed as a cheater and loser on top of it, it would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would have dashed to pieces.
Indeed. Getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast doubt on his prior wins.
A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan.
Ooh.
Oh, really, O'Reilly? How droll. But it appears you made quite a mistake.
A mistake?
I agree. The trap was elegant. Yet what happened to the planted card? Hey, that's right. He's lucky. I'll give him that. You had to be slipped free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers O'Reilly.
Oh, really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick.
Cute? Oh, who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad, you hear me? Bad.
When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung.
Best laid traps. That night, I planted a card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. Trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was that no-good cheating defendant. A
surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark.
The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect! If the Ron cheater hadn't messed it up. Scooby-Doo reference.
Look who's talking. Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, it's all yours, Mr. Justice.
With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? With defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors?
Alrighty, cross-examination time.
The best laid traps. That night, planted a car like I was supposed to. Wright lost the last hand like he was supposed to. Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap had failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. I'm going to press you on this. Wait. Isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing. Which means he didn't cheat. Which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well... Oh, was that the gimmick for this one? What was that just now? I sensed something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? Nothing, Your Honor. Well, what do I do? So I pressure a little harder? Oh yeah, press hard right into that. Just go right into it. Right, chat? Miss O'Reilly, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? You... Me quick fingers, O'Reilly. The defense will refrain from baseless accusations. I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I did see it. Honest. I saw it and Wright hit him. With my own eyes, I saw him. It's this weird vibe I'm getting. That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly, she would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Touching her neck, was it? What is going on? I feel like I'm being a creep right now. What's going on? Is my special ability to using my eyeballs? I think it's just using my eyeballs. I'm pretty sure that's what we're doing, chat. We're just using our eyeballs. What's going on? This sensation is coming into focus. The twitch is clear. It's like I could perceive her habit. Like I couldn't before. Perceive her habit. Like I couldn't before. So I'm just gonna be a gotcha. You're scratching the back of your head. You're lying. Miss O'Reilly, perhaps you're unaware of this yourself. Unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, touch the back of your neck with your left hand. My neck? So what? What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says a part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory. She touches her neck. I'm sure of it. A memory? What would someone care to explain about what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something? Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us? Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So, what would remind her the most of the moment of the crime? Miss O'Reilly, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe that weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is holding the neck. Holding her neck, holding her neck. Would it be the window? The weapon that left an erasable impression on your neck. I'm trying to think what it would be. I think that it would be impression on your neck. I believe the weapon that left the erasable impression on your neck. Because it's a weapon, I think it's going to be like the bottle, right? It's going to be the bottle. It's going to be the bottle, right? Excuse me. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of the moment than this bottle? The murder weapon. But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're the one in pain? What's he talking about now? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit. Not you. This is a cross-examination, not a quash-wild conjecture. The witness habits, they're completely irrelevant. Justice, I'll admit I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later. Just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her. Miss O'Reilly, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. Neat, I know nothing. Put the coat back on. We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please. Now. I just want to take it off again. Fine. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. You seem uneasy. You try standing up there. Her eyes are darting all over the place. Gotta be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like? Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in a daze at the table until the cops came. Intriguing. I believe you got all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So, what do you think about it? I'll tell you what to think. Her testimony is flawed. This is basically bogus. It contradicts the evidence. What's that? Well, show us this evidence, Mr. Justice. This evidence that you claim contradicts the testimony. She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that. His phone. Miss O'Reilly, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the club. So, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. Oh, she didn't catch everything that time. Everything fell. Oh, the lobster. Ruined. She ruined it all. It's all been ruined. The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. Oh, forget to play it back again. So good. Oh, I'm liking this. This is great. Showdown time. You dirty cheat. Check his pockets. Now. It's gone. The card's gone. You lose. Ah! The music changes. That's when you know things get serious, and it gets super duper serious. I'm loving that music though. It is so great. If there's anything that Phoenix Wright games were known for, any Apollo Justice games, is that their music was just amazing. Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to Wright, and he hit me. You, some master of cheating you turned out to be. Eek. That's so terrible. When I came to, the victim was already dead. Is that? Oh, that's the judge. You gotta get a judge voice. The victim was already dead. Is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Well, where does this leave us? Madness. This is madness. I'm dreaming. It must have been me who was hit with a bottle, and I'm imagining all this. It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Mr. Gavin, sir? I believe that, as a defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss O'Reilly a big fat liar. What? 3 were in that room the night of the murder. The defendant, the victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive? Her plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denouncement of the argument was murder. What? I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. Tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Wright. Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph. Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right. Like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped in the victim's hand after the murder. And the one swapped the card didn't know the 2 colors of cards were being used. A 4th person. This is a theory again. Your 4th person doesn't exist. Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here. Where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. The real criminal? And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. What? Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said? The 4th person who swapped cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color on the backs of the cards. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet there's one person here, in our court, who thought those cards were blue. Yeah. I had that impression too. But why? Well, Apollo? Think you can figure out who it was? It's not me, I swear. Who is this 4th person? Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? The only person I can think of would be Gavin. As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right. Christoph Gavin, you were the 4th person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene's in black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor, or the table. But look, you can see the colors in this photo. Yeah, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim, yet it was only that. A game in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits. A silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Well, Christoph? Oh, you're getting serious. Mr. Gavin?
Mr. Gavin, is there something the matter?
No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Christoph? You know even I'd never make a joke this far.
I mean, you made a lot of jokes in the original trilogy.
This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder? I assure you, I'm quite sane. But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met. Well, what if they have? Huh? There's a possibility, after all. They may have met that night before the game started.
What are you suggesting?
Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Oh, only one thing to do now. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin? The testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before the game of poker be related?
It's getting serious.
I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss O'Reilly...
Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this?
He's the defense, not you.
Oh! Caught my fixed race trap! Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you.
Okay.
Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony?
Yes. Yes, we do. This is Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this, and I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. He too, Justice. You would betray me? Your teacher? I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. It's about the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Cringy right there. Just right in the heart.
So cringy.
Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand. Please.
Yes. Appetite before murder. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shaddy Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph had left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to the defense attorney, Gavin.
Okay. Mr. Gavin, you were at the Barst Bowl Club the night of the murder?
I dine with him rather frequently.
And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after?
Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you? Right. Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial? The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears I was wrong. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice? Sir. He's lying. And you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Appetite for murder. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner and we sat at the table in the photograph. Walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. I'm going to press you on this, because whenever he says something, he looks down. About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga O'Reilly mentioned. The plan was simple. Elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. It was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swap the cards. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Yes, a harmless prank in essence. It was by the quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. Quirk? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found the card. The card she planted? Yeah. I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, and so I disposed of it. Before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. An empty bottle of grape juice? The murder weapon. Yep. I rolled it up and shoved it in. Colored glass makes it hard to see. A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like a terrific drama. A card inside the murder weapon. Strange. Did the police miss it in the investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3 approves of this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony for this new information. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. Hang on. Here's the thing though, I don't see that. No clues here. That's the thing, I don't see anything. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. The girl was knocked out cold, Smith was uncontrollable, I left to call the police. Right, but why is your head down? You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at the time? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there, in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. Did it seem right to leave the injured waitress alone? When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. And when you returned, the victim was already dead. Yes. I'll admit I was a little startled when I walked in. A little. He was bleeding from his forehead after all. guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. That's when I made another phone call to the defense attorney, Gavin. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming on his head. The girl was knocked out cold, Smith was uncontrollable, so I left to call the police. You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant. Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down there. Not a soul. Making the call, returned to the hideout. He said he was uncontrollable. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. That's weird. Because if a man was uncontrollable... Why was he sitting in his chair? Evidence. You gotta find things. And it started. That's the thing, though. I don't see a card in the bottle. I don't see anything. Yeah, that's a problem. There's no card. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yeah. I've examined the bottle, and I don't see any card in here. No? What? Mr. Wright, surely isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle. However... Huh? Perhaps a fifth person came and took it out? Oh, and a sixth person could have helped. Mr. Gavin. Mr. Wright's your client. My apologies, Your Honor. I don't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing. So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the knockout. Why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table and is photographed. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph had left. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. The girl was knocked out cold, Smith uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Could you explain why you called, Mr. Gavin? I'm obviously got involved in a rather sticky affair, and I figured Christoph's law offices would give me a friend rate for my defense fees. Glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Christoph. It was I who got you involved, after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice, you know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him. Now. Yes, sir. I gotta think, what is Mr. Wright trying to tell me with his testimony? The truth has to be in there somewhere. That evening, Christoph and I were at dinner. Shady Smith, discovered. Girl was knocked out cold, Smith was uncontrollable, left to call the police. Alright, I gotta present some evidence because if he was uncontrollable, why was he in a chair? The witness's statement is clearly faulty. Oh, I walked into that. I can't see anything faulty. Unfortunately, I will have to penalize you, Mr. Justice. Oh, come on. My justice. My justice. It hurts. Girl knocked out girl. Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. Price on everything then. 5 minutes. So the two of them could have passed the restaurant during that time. That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure. Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Christoph Gavin and Shady Smith may have met? I believe I did say that. Here, I was all nervous about this meeting. And now we hear that you're just passing in the hall? That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Oh, it would be, if that were all that really happened. Come on, Mr. Wright, where are you hiding this time? You've had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yes, he dines with me at the Barrage Plug quite frequently. We were enjoying our usual dinner in our usual spot, as usual. Usual. I always eat at the table closest to the piano. I see. Where Mr. Smith was sitting. So the plates and such on the table were from your dinner? Indeed, remnants of my meal with Christoph. We dined for 2 hours, then Christoph left after that. Christoph and I had dinner, we sat at the table in his photograph. Wait. The defendant and Mr. Smith at the Borspool Club. We must find the crimes and solve the murders. It's quite interesting. Quite interesting. Used by defendant to notify the police from the restaurant's first floor. Can I? No clues. Hey, what's this? Battery's being held with a piece of tape? Should just buy a new one. Maybe he can't afford it, or he just doesn't care. Wait. No clues here. No clues. Okay, alright, we're fine. There's no clues. No clues. I thought there was gonna be clues. Wait. Didn't he say... That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after, discovered the trap during the game, and disposed of the card in the bottle. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. I've got to go solving crimes. Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know what I'm missing though. I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know what I'm missing. What am I missing, chat? What am I missing? I discovered the trap during the game when you disposed of the card in the bottle. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. You made the call to the police from the first floor. Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in Hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at the time? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the Hideout. Didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. When I returned, he was dead, blushing from a cut on his forehead. Right, but where was the waitress? Oh, wait. But the phone call was done for the murder. Oh, no, that wasn't it. Messed that up too. Oh, shoot. I might not do this one. I'll have to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. Did I press this one before? And when you returned, the victim was already. Yes, sorry, dead. I left to call the police. Discovered the trap during the game. Disposed of the card in a bottle. Why in the bottle? I perceived my opponent's intent immediately. I'm used to entrapment, you see. I knew that was coming. Oh, so you struck first. I like that. I know every trick in the book. It don't work on me. At least when you get lucky and stick your hand in your pocket, they don't. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. Sadie Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. The evening Kristoff and I had dinner, we sat at the table in this photograph. At the table in this photograph. But... the problem with that, though, is that the table only has one seat and only enough food on it for one person. I'm confused again. What should I do? The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. Is anyone else on the first floor at the time? Not a soul. Middle of the night after all, so no one else was there. So there in the dark restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, returned to the hideout. Didn't seem right to leave an injured waitress alone. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. Time of death was around 2 a.m. Death caused by a single blow to the forehead. For the forehead, hat removed during investigation. Sub-basement and the brush ball. Wait. Hat removed during investigation. Sub-basement and the Borscht Bowl. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. You mean the one after the investigation? How did you know that there was blood? When I returned, he was dead, blood was streaming from a cut. You couldn't tell there was any blood. You couldn't tell there was blood on that. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yeah? Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Justice, next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put the hat on his head. Huh? You? You put the hat on the dead man's head? He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. Shining bright, just like in this photograph. And I picked his hat off the floor, put it on his head. Why would you do a thing like that? All I can say is, I'm sorry. But that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So Miss O'Reilly didn't see it. It being the victim's, his head. I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through his case. He's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This witness testimony, it's more like a travesty, riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie. Huh? When I noticed the trap, I put the card in a bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. A reason? That reason? It's right here. Your cell phone? That night, recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Oh, we got him now. We got him. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. That gentleman who challenged you turned out to be good? Turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Bone china plate. A kind of porcelain. Very smooth and shiny. Not a plate, but pate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call at all. So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club? Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this bone china pate? That's right. Yes. That's where I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? Oh, we got him. So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on? Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix, right? We're getting good. Order. I will have order, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. Completely forgot about him. He has completely disappeared. He has done nothing for like the last hour. I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear defense attorney Gavin's testimony? No, well, as a prosecutor, Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes. After which, Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well. This will be the final recess for the day. Oh, I forgot how good this game was. Oh, I love it so much. April 20th, 2:32 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge chamber. Who would have thought the day would turn out like this? May I? It's the daughter who's coming in today. What? Hello, sir. Please pick a card. What's all this about? Oh, is this one okay? Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand's about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. A trump card? The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game's yours. That's all. An ace. Where do I remember that card from? Mr. Smith's hand was 3 aces, and Mr. Wright's too. 5 aces in all. It's true. I've seen it. The 5th ace. That was cheating, I swear to you. The missing 5th. Wait. Blanche of red. Is this blood? You have your trump card now. It's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate's in your hands. I know you can do it. And she disappears. Bloodstained card. It's my trump card for finding the truth. Oh, man. It's nice to know that those guards there, the ballasts, plaintiffs, they're still the same guys. I fell asleep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl. I've seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. It's her, but like 4 years younger and super tiny. Bloody ace added to the court record. April 20th, 2:45 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Here we go. Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. The witness stating his name and occupation. Is this farce necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Fine. I'll play along. First, there's one thing we need to have made clear.
How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat?
By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald.
Forgive my curiosity, but what is this about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it. I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin.
Mr. Wright? What do you think you're doing, Mr. Wright?
Ah, things sure are different from the other side. Know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off. Except for that one time. That one time. Being the instant he was hit. When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was laying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to have been there in the hideout at the time of the crime. In other words, I must be the real killer, is what you're trying to say? Not bad, Apollo. It's weird seeing him all the way. Really? Mr. Gavin? I'm afraid I haven't been entirely honest with the court. What? Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet I'm afraid in the current situation I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night? The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. Must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears to be in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, so I left. That's when the call came from Wright. So you witnessed the murder? For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client. What else can I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify, as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright? You had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right, Apollo? Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial's getting weirder and weirder. The fateful night. The rage I sensed in the man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. That man. You mean Mr. Smith? He was different from the other customers. His aura, shall we say. I knew he was a serious poker player, but it was more than that. So then, you knew the true nature of your client's job. Of course. But I also knew he wasn't engaged in gambling, which would be illegal. Well, makes sense he would know. They were friends after all. Worried for my friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to sell an old score. I see. What happened then? We
down to the basement, peeked in through the little window to the hideout. What did you see through that little window? The little window. You mean the one used to keep watch up the stairs? Yes, a relic of the ancient past. The Black Marketeers used it, I believe. Why did you go through the trouble of peeking in through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier to just open the door and go into the room? I didn't want to upset Wright, you see. Upset Mr. Wright? Yes, one of my fears had been unfounded. I'd be walking in on their match. Bad form, to say the least. So far, everything he's saying makes sense. Must have been right after the murder took place. I'm pressing on everything. Press everything. We'll find out this stuff. How do you know it was right after the murder? Really? No need to shout, Justice. I was just getting to that part of my testimony. Ah, there he is. The coolest defense in the West. We know and love. Even when you're standing up there on the witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid you changed too, right? But you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours. With friends like these, who needs enemies? The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. By photo, do you mean the second photograph of the crime scene? Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. I saw his head when he was dead. Then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat. Can you describe the scene of the crime for us? A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright, holding a bottle in his hand. Those were the only three at the scene of the crime? Yes, as far as I saw at least. They were back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police? 2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend. There must have been someone else there at that moment of the crime. Justice, I just said I saw no one. Not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. Wright said. Ah, yes, this mysterious 4th person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose? Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in a victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary? How can I show something I can't find myself? Remember Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace. The 5th ace, right. Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. Can you point out to a reason? Yeah, I can. The magical card that was given to me that was not permitted as evidence for the entire court case, which was, if this was in like actual court case terms, would get it completely thrown out. Now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing that the reason why a card was swapped out. Then go ahead and point at your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 5th ace? Because the 5th ace had blood drop on it. My reason is, this. Is that an ace? Why, it's got blood on it. Right next to the spade. What? This is insane. Why wasn't I told about this? Could this be? Could this be the missing 5th ace? Inconceivable. How could you? What are you doing with that card? Oh, well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Kevin so upset? It's just a fishy card with some fishy girl. Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock in trade, after all. No, impossible. Unacceptable. The court can't accept this evidence. It's fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think that the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Oh, he's about to snap. He's about to snap. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime? Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran down his forehead, down to the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood. Regardless, the evidence is non-permissible. Oh? Right. Regardless of how you've wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know how well serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You want to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now, I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see. This is baseless conjecture. Baseless! Oh, I assure you, it's quite based. What? It's amazing, really. How a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Yeah. Try picturing the scene of the crime. In your head. Oh, this is cool. Now it's all in 3D. Ooh. It looks a lot nicer than it did when it was on the DS and that little screen. Oh, I think it was like 480p was like the pixels. It was so terrible. The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And before the killer swapped the card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there's one decisive problem with this scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on a card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? Killer, victim, witness, fourth person. The victim, the killers, the witness, the second witness. Whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card? The victim. Well, isn't it the victim's position that would be the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look. The victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. You would think any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him. Take a look at the photo again. If he bled in this position, the blood would fall on the floor, not the cards. That's right. So what does this mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh man. Apollo, try turning that chair around. I can do this. Oh, I can do this. Recreate the crime scene. The chair was facing the other way? It would have to be.
Okay, I like this.
So we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. Then Mr. Wright returned from informing the police. Which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in the photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around? Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We now know that the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction. Again? Let's test your reasoning skills, shall we? Apollo? Whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims? The killers? The witness? The second witness? Whose location creates a contradiction if the victim was facing that way? If the victim was facing that way, would it be the witness? Wait, no, because if he's turned that way, it's the killer. The victim was struck from the front, right? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Sitting where he was indicated currently is. I would think it'd be quite hard. Yeah. Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game? I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light. Well, what? There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? Try marking it on the diagram. Whoa, but there's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Oh, don't worry. Let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing towards the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have been standing to strike our victim from the front? The killer had to be standing here. You get points for flair, but that's all you get. I thought I was on something there. I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim was facing a solid cupboard. Or are you claiming the killer climbed in the cupboard and hit him from above? Simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that at the very moment of the crime... Wait, I know. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard, it wasn't there. What's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation, right, Mr. Gavin? Ooh. Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout. Immediately. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Your Honor. What? There's one more thing you men should look for. Please give this to the bailiff. Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. Ooh. Oh, I love the flair. I love the drama. That's what makes these games so great. But let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here, which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Blocking the window. Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it would have been shown as here. Now, everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. What's this? What is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact. Oh, dang. Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. Now then, Mr. Justice, please point out to the new contradicting indicator. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, or the second witness? Which indicator in this diagram contradicts what we know is the crime? Second witness can't look through the window because the window is now blocked by the cupboard. You can't see it. About this cupboard. Are we okay with assuming it was moved? Sure. Why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would have completely covered up the window and the stairs. Oh, that's right. Someone standing outside couldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What did you say? Oh, is the coolest defense in the West losing is cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. Ooh. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order. This is a court of law and I will have order. We just now received word from our investigating team at the Brush Bowl Club. They've examined the cupboard and hideout, Your Honor. Oh? What did they find? Well, Your Honor, it turns out there's a secret passage behind it. What? Yes, I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about. I do remember him saying something about that now. And he mentions it. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal going-ons. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room has a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of brost, no doubt. Just like our killer. Ooh, he's about to snap. He's going to snap. Oh, I love it when they do their snaps and they're about to freak out. You see where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked and the victim's hat was only off his head for the few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Come on. Say something. She about to do it? Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think I can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. When the chance came, he took it. Ugh. Eek. Why did you do that? Wait here, I'll get help. Miss Olga O'Reilly was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But this time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in a hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look, and after the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized he needed to destroy the evidence. A single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Too bad for him, he didn't linger any longer in the hideout than that night. If he had, he might notice the cards on the floor. And the fact that they were all red. Ooh, so good. I love these games so much. These are so great. I love them so much. Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne. Here. Yes, Your Honor. The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Oh! Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately. Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber would be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick. Excuse me? The defendant is cleared of all suspicion? This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to point to blame on someone else. And not just anyone, but me, his own defense attorney. Illegal evidence? Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin, is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. This bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking? How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints. Am I right, Mr. Payne? Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the bottle were upside down. I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court in this case demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would want to hold a bottle upside down. And that's to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor? See how they caught the fish squirms to the last. Well, Apollo? Yeah. Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still. But I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation. Just like that. Yeah. Just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down, other than to... Well... Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there. Plain sight. How do you just say that answer is in plain words? It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions, indeed. Well, Mr. Justice? Mr. Gavin said that the court in this case demanded an explanation. Don't worry. Justice won't leave until justice is done. Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court? What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle would be upside down? Oh, it's easy. Because he would pick them up from the crate and drink them. Right there. It's right there. We got this. It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to your chair. Excuse me? On the floor? Yeah. Now reach down and pick it up. Without getting out of your chair. See? You naturally go to pick the bottle up by its neck. With your fingers. Upside down. Look at this photograph taken the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here. Playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times. I can't believe it was that simple. Recall our dinner that evening, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then, too. Basically, you used a bottle on the table to do the deed. But then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from underneath the piano. And you switched to bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon. Order! 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 What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin? Is it here? Is this here? Is this finally it? This better be it. Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. Oh, he's blinking. I thought his eyes were twitching. What? You claim that I switched a bottle. Where's your proof? Proof? Oh, well, that's, as I thought, more baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Oh, Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, did you recall I requested an additional investigation? Oh, yes. I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Borscht Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. What are you going to do? Dust it for fingerprints too? I would be surprised if anywhere on that, but his. Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake true. The bottle wouldn't bear any trace of anything. Say, Paulo. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humor me. Mr. Wright, that bottle's gonna solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle. There's the card. There's something inside the bottle. What's this? That card. It can be. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment? Miss Olga O'Reilly? Yeah, our little swingling dash of vodka. That night I played a card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. Trap failed. Wait, this isn't... You're telling me this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony? I happened to put my hand in my pocket. Found the card. Yeah, I snuck a peek at it. Found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card. Before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. The 5 of hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped. And the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Oh, here it is. I've been waiting for this. I've been edging for like 2 hours. Yes! It's not that bad. Wait for it. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get there. Oh, the suspense is gonna kill us all. I just know it. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. That is all. Here it is. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney badge 7 years ago? My past is like my logic. Straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we can have this little tate, right? No, he definitely smashed. I know he did. This is insane. Well, what am I mean? Don't I get to prosecute anyone? He really has just been like standing there being chucked the entire time. It's pretty funny. I believe this time we've finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin? He's admitted to everything. We're processing his arrest now. I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do to such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he? None that we know of. Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. An odd profession to be sure, and that's all we know about him. I'll arrange for a follow-up and an investigation, Your Honor. Good. Mr. Wright? Yes? 7 years, and you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance before me, both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed two things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice could be tolerated, this courtroom. The second was a man who could tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me. This is a dark time for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright. Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Well, this seems to be a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty. We did it. Yay, confetti. Hate to be the guy who has to clean up the confetti, though. The confetti has to suck, though. But hey, we did it. We did it. I really thought the guy was going to, like, have more of a breakout. They do that in the games. Like, when they go, like, super angry and super mad, they usually, like, freak out completely. But I guess that's it for this. Court's adjourned. Oh, I thought we were going to be so much better at this, but we were not. April 20th, 4:28 p.m. District Court, Defendant's Lobby, number 3. Thanks, Apollo. Came through just like I thought you would. Pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. Gav, the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability? Ability? Yeah. The sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. You gotta use your eyes to look at people's habits. Wait. I wonder if he means... I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. This weird vibe I'm getting. What was that, Mr. Wright? You had to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer. Right. The day was full of questions without answers. Most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have to commit murder? Well, perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Huh? Wait, you don't know, do you? This locket? It's the key. Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. Flashback. Gotta have flashbacks. It's important we have flashbacks. Your daughter, right? That's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. Huh? I took it off his neck the night he died. But it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, the locket really did belong to him. But it's perjury. You testified. You said the locket was yours. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nevertheless. And it's the truth. Wait. But then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. I still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo? Yeah. How about coming to work for me? Huh? You mean at Wright & Co.? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. Can't imagine that to be true, but... Wait, but didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yeah. I'm not an attorney anymore. That incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man. Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion, and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in the court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence. Forged evidence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. Naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence that struck me as odd. It's true. It just seemed too perfect. I bet this was the evidence. It was the card. It was the card. You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter. Yep. That guard couldn't have been found at the crime scene because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place, luckily for us. The court can't accept this evidence. It's fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think that the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then, you really... Yeah, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So it's true. The rumor's true? 7 years ago? None of that matters much now, does it? No! I punched him. I punched him in the face, stuck him right in the snaz. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. Oh, and about your uppercut. Try yell and take that next time. I find it packs a little more punch. Oh, and thanks for today. I had a good time. Yes, we did it. This is great. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. And at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'll find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law. And this is how my story begins.
Yeah, we did it. We did it. We all finished up. We are probably going to stop the stream with this chapter. That's a good chapter. I remember playing this game. I didn't actually play the second or the... I didn't play the second, and I didn't play the third game of the trilogy, but I did play the first one. So I'm looking forward to actually getting through and getting to do this. But, yeah, I'm glad y'all sticking along and stuff. I hope you get to enjoy the VODs and stuff. Check out my YouTube channel. And we will pick this up later. I had fun. Till next time, let's go do the game menu. Don't want to go into the next one quite yet. It's episode 1. Yeah, there's 4 episodes. I gotta admit, I really do like the little slides they have here. Set music background, switch games, options, and back the title. Yeah, so the next one I actually get to meet his daughter and I get to work for them. I think his daughter gets put into a case, I think. So we have to worry about her. But yeah. Anyway, thanks you guys for hanging out and stuff. And I'll see you later. Till next time. You have a good one. I need some water. I'm thirsty. Later.